All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here for the March Focus on Partridge Public Library. And we're very thankful to our guest today, Keturah Delahoy, the director of this library, for being with us today. And a special thanks to Paul Hawkins, the director of South Central Kansas Library System, who suggested that I should reach out to Keturah to see if she would be on the program. So let's get started. Uh, would you please go ahead and introduce yourself for our guests and for those who are tuning in on YouTube?
Hi, I'm Keturah Delahoy, and I'm from the Partridge Public Library. And I have been the director of the Partridge Library since October of 2018. And so I've been here for about 7.5 years. And a little bit more about myself. As I was a kid growing up, I never went to a public library of any kind. I would borrow books from our small library at church and from school libraries and from friends. And it was in my early 20s that I went to our small town library and got my very first library card. And I began coming to the Partridge Library in 2000, soon after my son was born.
Well, that's
And
interesting. We don't always hear that about people who didn't have much experience with public libraries.
yes,
Well, while I was interrupting, can we talk a little bit about Partridge for those of us who might not have ever been there before?
sure. And I have a little bit about Partridge. The history of the library itself is kind of unique. In 1931, there was a couple in Partridge that had a large collection of books and thought about how other people might enjoy them as well. So for 2 years, she shared her public library, her private library with the public as a public library during the summer months. And then the books were moved to a small room at the back of the grocery store, at the back of a grocery store that was here in town. And then in 1935, the city of Partridge held a special election, and the town unanimously voted to that the city um, would have the would go ahead with the library, and so that's how the library came to be. So that was they started off with about 700 books when the city took over, and now that we have moved, we have right close to 9,000.
Very nice.
And
It-
we have some residents from Partridge that come in to use the library, but most of our patrons are from the surrounding rural community. Um, One of the things that makes our library unique is that the majority of our patrons come from an Amish or Mennonite background.
hmm.
And so a lot of families, these families do not have TVs, video games, or phone screens freely available to their kids. And so they really do encourage their children to enjoy reading. And so our junior and children's books are very, very popular. And an interesting fact is 2 years ago for summer reading, we had 30 kids read 1,500 books
Oh my gosh,
in 2 months' time. That was amazing.
that's wild.
That was just crazy.
No kidding. So,
Okay.
so was that every book in the library? Was that you bringing in books through ILL or?
That was just a lot of books from the library because they, for summer reading, they are required to read only library books will count.
Right. Okay.
So that was definitely books from the library. And we
Gotcha.
do have rotating books from South Central Kansas Library Systems as well.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And hey, just for those of us who don't have rotating collections, would you just kind of give us in a nutshell what that means and how that works?
Twice a year, I get a shipment of books from South Central Kansas Library
Hmm.
Systems that I have previously. I gave them a I filled out a form about that gives me approximately how many books that I can get. Now, I don't
Ah,
choose each book individually, but I just give them a number, and they will. So twice a year, I will get new books from them, and I will box up the books that we have, and I will send them back. And so
Gotcha.
we get a variety of books for children, for adults. We get audio books for adults and juniors. And so we really do like to have those books.
Yeah, it's a nice bolstered collection, it sounds like. Would you tell us a little bit about, before we get into the new building and the old building, just about how your library operates, your hours, your staffing, all the kind of nuts and bolts that makes operations possible?
Okay. We are open 20 hours a week. And Mondays, we're open from 3 to 8. Tuesday and Thursdays from 1 to 6. And Wednesday mornings, we're open from 9 to 2. For staffing, there are two of us. I am basically a solo librarian as I work every day alone when the library is open. Here at Partridge, we do staffing just a little differently. My helper, she works for me from home. She processes all our books, repairs books, and does some computer work, and she plans and prepares all of our craft bags for our take and make and play and chat. And then she works 5 hours at home every week. And then she comes into the library weekly and she will swap out her work and take new stuff home with her. She also, every summer, she plans and leads our summer reading program, which gives her several extra hours each week during that time. And then when I take vacation, she comes in and works for me as well. So this arrangement has worked out very well for us.
Yeah, that's an interesting arrangement or model for that. You don't hear about it too much, but that sounds like it's working.
Well, it has worked really well for us, and I'm really thankful for it.
Have you been doing that for since the whole time you've been there?
No, we have actually in 2020. I had a lady. She was an elderly lady, and she had been here at the library for. She actually worked for the library for 50 years,
Oh, wow.
and so she worked for me from the library. Well, then when COVID hit, I had her working at home, and so she
Hmm.
continued to work from home until she passed away in 21.
Okay.
And so after she passed away, then my helper, my the person that did the summer reading program, she ended up taking over and just working from home as well.
Gotcha. Well, that's a heck of a long service for the library.
Yeah.
Before I moved on, I did have some other photos here, and I just thought we might want to mention what's going on there. Obviously, the little ribbon cutting situation and some people visiting the library. Just thought you might want to give them those folks a shout out.
Yes, the person in the ribbon cutting is the lady that is holding the ladies holding the ribbon. One is the city clerk, and the other is the grant writer that the city used.
Oh, wow.
And
Great.
then the mayor and I are cutting the ribbon, and then my helper is standing behind me, and then the architect and another lady from his team are standing behind her. And so that is who was on the ribbon cutting one. And then on the next picture on the bottom is when we had people from the state come and take a look at what their grant provided, what we had done with the grant that we were able to that the city was able to get from them. And
Excellent.
we got the grant from the um, let me see that it was called the let me see. I'm sorry, I have to look it
No,
up.
no problem.
But the grant was from the
The CDBG,
yes, CDB grant, the Community Development Block Grant from the
right.
Department of Commerce.
So yeah, it sounds like a lot of moving pieces came together to get us here. So the next slide shows us kind of where we were at before the new building. I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to share with us about this space. How long was it in use?
It was built in 1969, and so it.
You got muted somehow, and so did I.
Okay, there. Is that
Thanks.
better?
That's
Okay,
better. Thanks.
okay,
Sorry. You were
that's
saying
all right.
1969.
Yes, it was in 1969, and the sorry about this. I'm the difference between the two buildings is well, obviously, as you can see, it's kind of dark in there, and it is kind of closed, so that gives it a closed in feeling. And so I really do appreciate having a much more
Right.
newer space that is not so dark and closed in. It was also divided into 2 rooms. And so now that we have one big open space, that is great.
Mhm.
And we were our storage space was very, very small. And our workspace was all out in the open. And so there was no room for a sitting space at all, sitting area. And so then I just felt limited in what I could offer for kids because of some of the space issues that we have.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of wood paneling in my rental home, but I know it's not popular with everybody. So let's advance the slides. And here's kind of our transition period.
Yes, that is how we moved the books. We just had these uh, dollies with bookshelves on them that we had just ratcheted onto the dollies, and we just moved the books by the loads that way. And then that is my helper that is there as well.
Did you all close down for a little bit while you were trawling books across the
Yes,
street?
yes, we were closed for a month.
Okay.
And so a lot happened in that month's time. But yes, we were closed for a month. And then the picture that you see is a library is on the right hand side of the building there, and then on the left hand side is a community center that the city decided that they wanted to make for the community.
Gotcha. So that building houses both of those.
Yes.
Okay, great. And sorry, I knew I had a follow-up question. Tell us again when you moved into the new space. That was last fall, right?
Yes, we opened in September the 22nd.
Okay, great.
So yeah, it
So,
was last fall. So we've been here for a little while now.
yeah, and here's
And
I've advanced the slides, and I'm sure from these pictures there's still a new building sent to the carpeting and all of that.
yes, it does. I still have people that come in and say it still smells new. Yes. The thing I like about the new library, it is one big room.
Mhm.
When you walk in, it just feels really open and spacious with high ceilings and lots of good natural light. And it just makes you feel like it's bigger than our old building, but in reality, it's not a whole lot bigger.
Yeah,
Um, in the new building, as you can see, we have a lot of nice space for children to play. And then we have a small storage room, and then we have a small work room, which has been very nice. And it gives us a place to do prep work
hmm,
and a place to store programming supplies. And then we have a nice office area behind the circulation desk that was on the first slides. Uh,
right.
that gives us nice storage there too. And we were blessed with to be able to get some much needed bookshelves from the Newton Public Library that they no longer needed when they moved into a new building. So now we have, and we also have a new double-sided 12-foot mobile bookshelf, and so we have new to us bookshelves and some brand new ones, and then we also kept some of the shelves that we did have as well.
So with that mobile shelf, is that something that you're actively moving out of the way, or is just to kind of use some flex space down the road?
It is more for flex space down the road. It's the mobile shelving that you can see right there by that blue cart. Um, that's a big long one. It's low shelving, and it's
Hmm.
that we can move it if we have a large children's event going on, that we could maybe move it off to the side if we needed to.
Gotcha.
And so then we also made a few technology improvements. Larry Pappenfuss from South Central Kansas Library Systems took care of the logistics of getting our network drops put in, which I very much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks, Larry.
Yes. And we have 4 computers available for patron use, and we also have Wi-Fi available. Um,
Excellent.
and another new item that we have is a photo kiosk. Patrons can print photos from their phones or flash drives or
Oh,
other
I think I
devices.
have that on the next slide. Whoops. There we go.
Yeah, there it is. Yes. And the top picture on the right, that little machine there. And so that has been nice. It's a fun service to be able to provide for our patrons.
So I'm sorry, just go back on that, what it does exactly, since I was kind of interrupting while you were saying it.
Okay. Well, it's kind of like when you go to Walgreens and you just go to a photo kiosk and you print off picture. You hook up your phone and you print off pictures. This does the same thing. I can actually not tell the difference between these photos and the ones that I have gotten at Walgreens.
That sounds like a really great service.
Yes, and so it has been. I mean, it's not without. Since I am a little technology challenged,
Uh-huh.
it hasn't been without some of its problems. But I have figured a way to get around it. And
Okay.
if for some reason if your phone doesn't want to connect to it, and you have to give it access to your phone, and if I can't figure that one out, then we have a way that I can work around it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then we, as you can see, the printer is there as well. Before we moved, we had shared a printer with the city
Mm.
of Partridge because we actually had a building that was we were connected. And so when we moved, we needed to purchase our own. And so we did that with the help of a technology grant from South Central Kansas Library Systems. And now we offer both black and white and color copies. Before we did not offer color.
Oh, it's a nice service as well.
Yes. And then in our new library, I wanted to point out that if you go back to the other slide,
Yeah.
you can see that we have a space that is called, we named the children's space Colena's Kids Hangout. And this was after the librarian that had worked for the library for 50 years.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yes, she began working for the library right after she started. She began the children's program. And when she passed away in 2021, we received a really nice memorial in her honor. And I just felt it was appropriate to honor her memory by naming the children's space after her. And in our children's play space, we have put up a 5 panel sensory board
Hmm.
um, that was through a grant from the Hutch Community Foundation. We also had a train table donated, and I would say the children's area is by far the most popular area of the library. I've had patrons say that they feel it like it's a really safe place for their kids to play. It's cozy and comfortable, and the kids really enjoy playing with the sensory boards. The train table is very popular, and the toys that we have available.
Yeah. Do your computers still get a lot of use? Those four
Um,
stations?
they do, but I don't think that they do quite as much as they used to. We used to have kids that came in daily,
Hmm.
but I think they must have gotten phones or some other apparatuses at home because they don't come in quite as much as they used to. But we do still have them used.
Hmm. Well, let's see if there was anything else that we wanted to mention. You mentioned the technology grant from South Central, but that probably doesn't include the monies that you receive for some of these other items.
No, no, we from as far as the technology, well, the technology we already talked about that. But the
Hmm.
with the new library build, we were able to get a libraries transform grant from South Central Kansas
Yeah.
Library Systems. That was a very major for our small little library. Some of the items the grant helped pay for were for the network drops and office and workroom cabinetry. We had several comfortable reading chairs for adults and a couple of fun floor chairs for the kids. We had a 12-foot mobile uh, bookshelf, which I've already mentioned. We have magazine racks and a cart for our popcorn machine. We have our makerspace cart, and we have different types of building toys like Legos, Magnetiles, Kiva planks, marble roller, um, and then the photo kiosk that I have mentioned, and then a baby changing station for our bathroom. That is some of the items that we were able to get with our grant um, from from South Central Kansas Library System. They have been such a huge blessing to us.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And they sound like maybe they're extras, but it's hard to call network drops or in baby changing stations extras. It sounds like they were really critical additions to your project.
Well, yes, because we have. I mean, the network drops was very critical in a lot of different areas of the library, not just in
Hmm.
internets and for the patrons, but also for ourselves and our phones because our phones are run off of the internet,
Oh, yeah.
and so that that was very important. And then yeah, it's just and then the baby changing station. We have a lot of families coming in with little kids, and at the other library we didn't have anything like that, and I just knew that that would be really nice to have here.
So let me ask you this. Have you noticed any changes since you've moved into the new building with patron visits?
Yes, I do believe that we have had. I mean, we've had people come in that have never been here before, never been to the other library, and they've been coming in on a regular basis. We've had people that are coming back that haven't been that weren't coming anymore over there, and so that has been really nice. So I do feel like our the amount of books we check out is a lot
Mhm.
as well, and so I do feel like it has definitely made an improvement in our stats
Yeah.
for the library.
Well, and you mentioned earlier too that maybe the old space didn't have as much room for just people to just kind of hang out. So
Yeah,
that makes me wonder, are you seeing people maybe stay a little bit longer?
I do have some people that will come in and they will just. I have one lady that likes to come in and study because she says she doesn't at home. She gets sidetracked, but here she can
Hmm.
focus. And so I have somebody that does that, and I have had other people come in and just bring their computers in and sit and work on their computers using the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
And so that has been something that wasn't really available at the other place.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we might, unless there was anything else about the facilities, although we didn't mention that you have coffee. I always think that's such a great addition.
Yes, we do
How
have
do you
coffee.
fund your K cups?
Pardon?
How do you fund all those K cups?
Well, the K cups is they we actually charge for that.
Okay.
We do charge for the a $1 for coffee or drink, hot drink. The popcorn is free. I don't make popcorn every day, but I do make popcorn on days when I know we're going to be busy.
Mhm.
And so that is yeah. So that's how we fund that
Are
part of
there
it.
lots of other places to get a cup of coffee, or are you kind of one of the few places you can drop in and get that?
Yeah, there's nothing else here in Partridge. The only other thing in Partridge, honestly, I didn't even say too much about Partridge itself, but the only other thing that's really in Partridge is like the co-op, a
Mhm.
grain elevator, a Partridge garage, which repairs cars, the post office and the city office and a church, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, then,
So
yeah, you're
yeah,
the third space.
we are a small town of about 210 people.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, so I thought we might talk a little bit about, I know you have some ongoing programs.
Yes.
So I thought you might just mention what those look like for your patrons. And
Okay.
then before we wrap up, if we still have time, I thought maybe you might just give us a preview of what you're expecting to do with summer reading
Okay.
programs.
All right. Um, Twice a month, I offer a program called Play and Chat on Wednesday mornings. And I read a story to the kids. They're mostly 4 years old and under. And the rest of the time is unstructured for the kids to play and build social skills. And while the children play, the moms are able to chat and socialize as well. Now, we do have toys available and coloring pages. And then we make simple crafts available. And that the moms can do with the kids if they went to. And then we also have an activity. I have some sort of an activity that I have try to make available for them. If it's as simple as just giving them a bunch of stickers, and they can put stickers on a piece of paper, or maybe a mat on the floor that you can drive cars on.
Hmm.
Just something simple that I try to make available that's not here all the time. And so that is our Wednesday mornings, and the moms really seem to enjoy that.
I bet.
And then I have also been implementing more passive programming options. On Mondays, we have a makerspace cart full of crafting supplies that I pull out for Maker Mondays. And then I do prompt boards every month that people like to comment on. And then I also am starting to do monthly scavenger hunts. And so that's kind of some new things that I've started here at this library.
Yeah.
And
Scavenger hunt sounds fun.
yes, yes, I've seen a bunch of things, so I'm trying to hopefully we can do monthly ones, and we'll see how that goes. This is actually our March was my very first one, so I guess we'll see how it continues to work out.
Gotcha.
Um, we are for summer reading. We're looking for yeah, we're definitely looking forward to doing that in the new space.
Hmm.
We meet once a week for an hour, and we offer the story time, crafts and games and snacks. And like I said, we do promote a reading challenge for the kids, giving prizes to the top readers in the three different age categories. And everyone who participates in reading gets a prize bag as well. It's not just those that read a lot. Everybody gets
Hmm.
a prize bag. And we also have started offering the option for kids to participate in the reading challenge only. And they don't need to come into the weekly program. They can just come into the library weekly or bi-weekly, whatever is convenient for them, and to pick out books. And some parents really like this option as well. That way they don't have to come in every single week if that doesn't work into their schedule.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, you mentioned so many don't live actually in town, so I could see
Right,
where that.
right. And most of the kids that do live in town do not really participate much in reading,
Gotcha.
which is kind of sad, but that's the way it is.
You meet the needs as they have them, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Anything else big you have planned for summer reading in the
Um,
new space?
I don't have any as I don't really have any huge plans. I know that Kayla is planning the summer reading, and so I'm not exactly sure what all she is going to do, but we are definitely talking about some different options as far as the we do the Unearth a Story this year,
Yeah,
and so she's looking at different options of things to do for that.
right.
But exactly, the big plans for that, I don't have that ironed out yet. I know that
Gotcha.
sounds kind of crazy, but we kind of wait until about April when we start focusing on that.
Sounds good.
And
Um,
so, yeah.
so I saw, and that this might have been one of your prompts as we kind of wrap up here. I saw that you were doing a bracket for snacks. Is that part of the prompt boards?
The bracket for it's not the prompt board, but it's something that
Okay.
I have put up on the wall. Um, and it has been kind of a March Munchie Madness that I've been doing. And I actually it is a passive programming thing that I've been offering. And where we started the month out, the first week of March, we had 16 snacks for people to choose from. And then the second week of March, we had the Elite Eight uh,
Right.
snacks to choose from. And then last week we had the final four. And this week we're voting on the championship, and it's down to ice cream and soft pretzels.
Okay. Ice cream and soft pretzels. Okay.
Yes. So I
Now,
guess we'll see.
does the winner get to show up at the library?
Well, the winner is just, I mean, I actually promoted this, but I said there's no snacks involved because I was like, if ice cream wins, I don't have a freezer. I can't serve any ice cream.
Logistics of that. So,
That's right. And then soft pretzels would also be a challenging one because, making the soft pretzels could be a challenge as well. But we'll see once if we can come up with maybe some sort of a snack for next week then.
yeah. Well, you might inspire them to run out and get themselves some soft pretzels or ice cream.
That's true. But I thought that would just be kind of a fun thing.
Yeah, that seems like a fun little program. I always like to see those brackets, even though my real bracket's broken. Um, So thank you so much for joining us this month. I really appreciate you being willing to talk about your library and your new adventure that you're starting. I pulled up the KLA slide because I do this program in partnership with Kansas Library Association. I know a lot of us are looking forward to being back in Wichita this fall. So thank you everybody for joining us. If you watch the recording or here live, again, thank you, Keturah. Wish you the best with that library space and have a great summer reading program. And I guess we'll say goodbye to you all until next time.
Well, thank you very much.
You betcha. Take care.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.